Islanders, what a way to kick off a Monday morning. I've been kicked out of my cabin. I've been shown the door. I've been booted. Carnival said you booked this cabin on an upcoming cruise and you're not staying there. I will show you the email from them on today's show. Plus, we have an update on the class action lawsuit that dates back to March of 2020. Passengers are suing Princess Cruises and Carnival Cruise Line. One passenger speaks out in court. We will share their thoughts on the show today. Plus, Virgin Voyages and their new ship is headed to Miami right now. Let's talk about cruising and cruise news right now on Island Time. A big happy Monday to all you Islanders. I hope you had a great weekend and your week is off to a great start. Thank you for stopping by the show today. I am Derek, and today we need it bad, don't we? Go ahead and drop your anchor. Let's take some time and relax in the islands together as we talk about cruising and cruise news. There's a ton going on. There's a lot that happened this weekend as well. We appreciate all of you who shared pictures and videos of the final sailing of the Carnival Ecstasy. Of course, you guys got back at the end of last week. We appreciate all of you for joining us. Last night, as Island Time went live on Sunday night, as we do every week, we had a great show. If you want to check that show out, you can click right here. And we've got some news maybe for this week. All you loyal to Royal fans, you Royal Caribbean fans, know this, there could be some news on the new Icon of the Sea, some more information that has not been shared yet. We hope that's the case. It's important that you are subscribed to this channel and this community. You have that bell turned on to receive notifications when we upload content so that when news breaks like we expect to this week, you will receive it firsthand. You'll get that alert on your phone, on your iPad, on your Mac, and you can watch that cruise content and consume it whenever you want. I'm having bad luck with cabins. If you joined our show last night, the live show, Amanda and I talked about our upcoming Norwegian Prima cruise and how we're 10, 11 days away from the cruise. We have no idea where we're staying yet. The group that we're going with is a group of teachers. It's Amanda's Giving Joy competition that she won. Everyone else knows where they're staying except for the Phillips family. We have no clue where we're staying, and it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal, but if you're a planner like I am, you want to know where you're staying. You want to know where your cabin's at. You want to see what's below you and above you. You want to see what floor you're on. A lot of you Islanders, you know what I'm talking about. We'll see what happens with that. But overnight, while we talked about that on yesterday's show, I get an email from Carnival. And here's the email. It says, hey, you're booked May the 28th on the Carnival Celebration. You're currently booked in stateroom 16211. That stateroom's no longer available. Listen to what they said. Attention, notice of cabin change. Is this a nightmare? 2 cruises now, right? 2 cruises. We're wondering about where we're going to stay. Dear Carnival guests, we are writing to inform you that your stateroom has been changed on the reservation reference below. This change was necessary because your previous cabin will not be in service for guest occupancy, which I thought was interesting in itself. If you have any questions, you can contact the sailing support team, which I did not even know it existed. A couple things about this email. Number one, can I have an email address or a phone number, please? I would love to have a phone number and extension I could call and contact that sailing support team, but it's not listed here. I was able, of course, to contact that team, but notice in this email, my old stateroom, my original cabin number is on here, deck 16, which we planned on purpose because it's on Lido deck. We love staying on Lido. Let me ask you this. Islanders, where's your favorite place to stay on the ship? Do you have a particular place that you like to stay? Do you book in advance so you can stay in that particular place? For Amanda and I, we love to stay on Lido, which in this case on the Celebration is deck 16 forward. We're not doing it. Your original cabin number is there. Look at my new cabin number. How about this? A new cabin number of nothing. Nothing is listed. Why send me the email and saying that you have a new cabin if there's no cabin number listed? Why not just wait until you have my new cabin number? Again, I know this isn't a big deal. Will Amanda be on that May the 28th sailing on the Celebration? Yes. Is it a long ways away? Yes. Is this a big deal? No, not really. But my mind wanders. There are probably other cruisers and islanders like me. I can't be the only one that sometimes stresses about the details. You want to know what's going on. How are we getting here? Where are we staying? What are we doing? What transportation service is taking us from the hotel to the terminal? Where we're going to stay? Have you ever booked an inside or interior or balcony ocean view guarantee cabin where you don't know your cabin number for a long time? I've done that before. It stresses me out. I don't like to do that. I would rather pay more and pick where I stay. But now I have this email, and now here we go with 2 cruises where I don't know where I'm staying, and I'll think about it until I hear where I'm going to stay on both cruises. I'm going to think about it. Are there any other islanders like me? God bless those of you who are like Amanda, who could care less. The details don't matter. Just tell me when I need to show up, and I'll be there. I wish I could be like that, but instead, I have to know the details. Let us know in the comment section below if you're like Amanda, you're carefree, whatever, I'll be there. Or if you're like me and you need those details. While you're down there, of course, remember to subscribe. And if you're enjoying the content so far today, give us a thumbs up so this content is put in front of other cruisers who want to see cruise news in a community just like you. Let's move on to our next story here. This story, we reported on this story last week. We shared as the court case had begun some of those details. You probably remember this is a class action lawsuit from passengers who were on the Ruby Princess cruising in March of 2020. They were headed back to Australia. Of course, COVID is here, but we're 10 or 12 days away from cruising shutting down. There were well over 600 positive cases. 28 passengers eventually passed away due to COVID and contracting the virus. And there's a class action lawsuit against Princess Cruises and Carnival Corporation. Of course, Carnival Corporation owning Princess, owning Carnival Cruise Lines, and many others. The court case has started. Of course, there are individuals that make up this class action lawsuit. They have the opportunity to present what they think, what they experienced to the court, to the judge. And one passenger did just that. She shared this. She told the court that believing the ship was free of COVID-19 was probably very stupid in March of 2020. She thought it was free of COVID-19. And that's a time when COVID-19 was spreading across the globe. Again, it was just, less than 2 weeks later that cruising is shut down. The woman also told the court she had been naive to believe that the operator, which is Princess Cruises, and the parent company of Carnival Corporation would be able to keep COVID-19 off the ship. She thought that Princess and Carnival could do that, that it was... they had to do that. She's saying that they were supposed to do that. They had to do that. They did not do it. Hence the reason for the lawsuit. Her exact words are this: we had assumed that there was no coronavirus on that ship when we boarded. And I recognize now it was probably very stupid of us to have that view. She went on to share that before she boarded that ship in March of 2020, she had reached out to her son-in-law even, who her son-in-law is a doctor. Her son-in-law had this point of view. He said that cruise ships were petri dishes. We've heard that before COVID. That saying was around, of course, during COVID and after. It's still around, but her son-in-law said, you may not go. You probably shouldn't go because cruise ships, as he said, are petri dishes, and they run the risk of infection. It's high for any illness, especially COVID-19. And this passenger continued to go. Of course, we know what happened. I think her husband, became ill with the virus. And we hope he's okay now, of course. But it's an update on this case. It's an update in this case, and it's so tough to hear these arguments, hear how these families are impacted. And at the same time, it's tough to see the other end of the spectrum too. Cruise lines, they had no clue. They had no clue, zero clue that what was going on in March of 2020 was going to be as big and catastrophic as it was. To be fair, airlines had no clue. They continued business as cruise lines did, as trains and buses did. We had no clue here. So many people are watching this story, and there are cases lined up. Depending on the outcome of this case, you could see others that try to point the finger at cruise lines and, of course, get damages and money back in return because of what happened here. We'll keep you posted on this story as it develops in the weeks ahead. Remember, 4 weeks. They're hoping to have this done in 4 weeks. Let's close the show on a more positive note. Virgin Voyages and their new ship, the Valiant Lady. She's finally headed to the United States. She was delayed. She's been in Europe. She's finished her Europe season, and now she's doing that transatlantic voyage to the United States. She's going to be in Miami October the 30th, where she's going to offer 6 and 8 night cruises, some longer cruises for all you Virgin Voyage fans. And it's going to be fun. It's neat to see what's going on here. On the 30th, she arrives in Miami, and they're going to have this contest. Of course, it's Halloween, right? So they're going to try to break a Guinness's World Record on a cruise ship. They are calling this October the 30th, this Halloween voyage, the Mer Maidian Voyage. Sir Richard Branson is expected to be on board when they try to break this record for the most merfolk gathering, the biggest merfolk gathering in history. They're going to try to break the record. And they're ponying up some goods here. The first 500 people to sign up for this event, they're going to receive a mermaid tail. You heard that right. I'm not making this up. A mermaid tail, a digital photo, bragging rights, of course, a certificate, and access to the exclusive cocktail party. Only 500 passes are available. It will sell out. I'm telling you that. If you want to be part of this special event, you can bring your own mermaid tail if you would like and be part of this event. It's all to celebrate the Valiant Lady and her arriving to the United States to sail. And I'm telling you, Virgin Voyages has really taken off. Those who have cruised her in these last 18 months have absolutely loved her. Remember, it's adults only. It is 21 and up. That's who's allowed on the ship. There's no price you can pay for kids to be on the ship. They're not coming. They're not there. And it's a more of an all-inclusive experience. You pay your price, and you really do have all the experience there. And there are upcharges and things like that. It's a business, right? But for the most part, it is all-inclusive, all adults, and it is really taking off. Do you plan on selling Virgin Voyages in the years ahead, or would you be interested in your cruise line of choice, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian, offering some sort of all-inclusive, adults-only experience? I don't think it will happen, but you can share your comments, of course, in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. Islanders, we hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the comment section, of course, on our Facebook page, and tomorrow right here on Island Time.